Type 9. Type 9. Type 9.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream. Recap Fridays here with the Everyday Growth Advisors. I hope you guys are having a great week. I know it's been a bloodbath in the markets, but it is about to be a interesting turnover here. So we're about to check out what this is about. I have some little bit of a breakdown here, and I hope that it helps you out. So welcome into the stream, and if you haven't yet, remember this is the day that you can choose a ticker for next week. So it's the day where you can pick what ticker we're going to cover next week, and I think that it is a good week to pick any freaking ticker, right? Irrationality at its best. Market's been selling off for a while, multiple days here. We've been having trouble breaking out of this triangle, this downward channel here. On the NASDAQ, and nothing's really going to improve until we see a breakout from this channel. Okay, so we're still waiting for that to happen. If you have been here watching the stream the entire week, you know that this was the topic of discussion. And so let's get these votes in. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and break down the pre-market here and have a look at some prospects that we may or may not see. So the news is reporting. And remember, we only look at the news for entertainment purpose here, not because we want to read the news and gain something insightful from it. This is purely entertainment. Who's succeeding against the coronavirus and why? Madrid lockdown urge. China sets vaccine target. Virus. COVID death toll nears 1 million, but real number may be double. COVID scientists find a turning point in life-threatening case. Okay. COVID antibodies endure over 6 months in China trial subjects. Okay, that's promising. US futures drop with Europe stocks, bonds gain. Vodafone scores a victory in 3 billion. Okay. Nothing really interesting on Bloomberg here. Of course, we do have the presidential elections coming up, so that might be causing the market to have some jitters. It's a mix of different things here, right? Remember, that was a sector rotation, tech being overbought, and now Dow Jones was also sold off together with it, and you can see that from the sector heat map here the past 1 month. You can clearly see that majority of the things that were hit were mainly tech, and that kind of helps you out to visualize a little bit. The 1 week performance here also interesting for sure. So let's have a look at the Wall Street Journal here before I cover those pieces of stuff there. U.S. stock futures point to a 4th week of declines. We've been in officially 4 weeks of decline. Palantir, a company that's about to IPO soon. I think this one's going to have a pretty hefty IPO. Kind of going to be one of those like snow IPOs, I think. Investor in Europe buy up stock funds. Blank check firms under regular. And by the way, many people ask me, like, how do you value a business that's IPOing? Well, that's the job of the investment bank to do that, right? That's what companies that IPO pay investment banks to do. It's to find out how much the business is worth so they can IPO at the right price. So if you're asking me, the question to that would be, first of all, you'd have to know a lot of inside information on how much the company is actually making, how much it's spending, what are its expenses like in correlation to its revenues and expenses. Sorry. And so when you can find that information out, the only time you can find that is when a company's information is public, and that doesn't happen before an IPO. So it's kind of like a catch-22. You can't do one without the other. But if you're a private equity investor, then yeah, you can do that. So. It's pointless to ask me that question because I myself can't help you out with that, to be honest. It's a difficult thing, because you don't know the information that you're looking for. That's the issue. Let me just make sure that I have this set up here. Yeah, I do. Perfect. All right. And put my charger in. Nice. Alrighty. So, China's bond wins third key index inclusion. Okay. Even in pandemic, Venmo tells con customers to pay up. What? Oh, that's no good for PayPal. Venmo's owned by PayPal, right? Let's see. Did PayPal get affected by this news? Nah, not really. which also reminds me to look at the stock. Oh wow, very interesting. Very interesting, for sure, interesting. Nice little bounce here. I think a break above this dual zone here would be a really nice nice time to pick up some PayPal here. Actually, right above this zone here. Yeah, it has to be this specific zone. A break above this zone would be a nice upside. Above 190 with PayPal. That should be a nice little upside there. So let's see what happens. I see the volume coming in. And the sideways movement. Okay. Cool. Lots of analysis to be done, guys. Lots of analysis to be done. So pre-market movers here. Gonna definitely ignore these. Apple up 0.25%. Wow, that's crazy, man. Carnival Corp up 3%. Okay, some news came out. Core durable goods and durable goods orders down quite drastically. Oil rig counts and FOMC members speaking today. Not that super important, but it's a Friday. Anything can happen. I feel like today we might have a green day, but I'm not going to pin my hopes on it. I'm not going to anticipate today. I'm going to actually just wait for the break above this key level that I'm looking at. And I'll get to the key level in a second here. Good morning, guys. Welcome into the stream. I appreciate you guys being here. Let's see here. Shopify. What up? What up? How you doing? Release the mouse. we didn't end up taking any trade on Disney because we got wrecked, right? But there was that bounce and then we got wrecked. So, boo-hoo. The 61.8 bounce. Oh, wait a minute. It was the 4 hour. Yeah. We bounced on the 61.8 and then gapped down. So we're actually coming up to bounce here again. So let's see if that actually happens. Our trend has been broken, by the way. Disney's going officially bearish here. So we have to really get back up here if we want to continue this momentum upward. By the way, long-term prospect on Disney, the cheaper it gets, I say a really good stock to buy, to be honest, right? It's definitely undervalued now, right? Undervalued. Now, obviously, with undervaluations and overvaluations, you have a margin of safety. And the general rule is 20%. Actually, if something's undervalued by 20%, the general rule is you buy, irregardless of how far down further it goes, because you can just keep averaging down. And so, yeah, I think it's a good time to pick up some Disney also. LMT, Shopify. Good morning. Crowd. Ooh, I like Crowd as a possible one. Kylie, that's a good one. DCF. Are you still in any positions? Yeah, I am in a bunch of positions. I'm in long-term positions. What sites that you use to look at PayPal? This is TradingView, tradingview.com for charting. I use TradingView. I don't really like the charting in TOS. I prefer this because I'm really good with using TradingView, so I prefer this. It's just a cleaner setup. Okay. No, Disney is not undervalued by 20% right now. I just said that is the margin of safety. That's the value at which you would buy a company if it was undervalued. I'm not saying Disney is undervalued by 20%. I'm saying that's the margin of safety that you should keep for undervaluation and overvaluation. For example, my valuation of Apple up here was 20% overvalued. Therefore, I sold my shares. You see what I'm saying? Okay, NCLH, Norwegian Cruise Lines, up 4% pre-market as well. Carnival Corp. So a lot of travel stocks doing good today. Royal Caribbean, all the cruise lines. I think on the news of the bailout, right? Or, the stimulus. And I think it's supposed to be helping these businesses. Peloton, up 2%. I think Piton's going to run at some point as well. This is another one I'm watching. If we can bounce on here, it should be a good little run. But let's wait for it to actually break here. Zoom might be a possible bearish play today. It's been bearish, but it is up pre-market, so be careful. If it doesn't take up the yesterday's highs, then definitely be taking this one to the downside. I think Zoom puts would be a nice little play here if the market can continue with the bearish momentum. Okay. Tesla. Got bought up on this gap over here. That's a nice little demand zone there. And by the way, if you're wondering how I find these zones, we just did a webinar on this. If you didn't turn up for it, it's in the recording now. It's in the playlist, so you can go watch that webinar on how to plot these supply and demand zones. We covered this yesterday on our live stream. So yeah, this looks like an interesting one here too. You could probably take this to the upside, possibly. Okay, let's have a look at some of these comments here. By the way, welcome into the stream, guys. And if you're here, I appreciate you guys being here. Make sure you smash the like button. You know, the likes help me out a lot, tremendously. And so, I would appreciate it. Okay. And remember, vote for your new ticker and give me ideas for the webinars as well. That helps. All right. What's that here? What did you do with your Neo Strangle? It's still playing out, pretty sure. It's still playing out. We had a $17 put and a $21 call, so either one will pay. And we have a long expiry on it, so it's still holding it out. Okay. AMD Beyond, interesting. Okay. Cool. Let's continue this here. So with the pre-market breakdown here, looking at NASDAQ technicals here, purely looking at the technicals here, what I really want to see is this. But the funny thing is we had triple bottom and we had triple top, okay? And I feel like we're about to form a double bottom and a double top here. So market's kind of playing us right now, right? There's a top here. I think maybe they go up here and then get rejected, okay? And then come down again for another triple bottom and another triple top. But I think on this time, we may break out here. So I say next week, we may break to the upside. Does that mean should you take positions now? Absolutely not. We need to see the break above this two lines here and out of this channel and close above the moving averages. We need to close above these moving averages for us to resume the upward trend, okay? It's super important that this happens, okay? Until then, we cannot make any moves yet. So this is the last week of the month, right? And it's actually not going to be that bad for our positions. Actually, I'm thinking we may have just made it in time. Yeah, Theta would have killed us a little bit, but I think, I think it should be okay for some of our positions. Anyway, I'll wait for the run-up before I clear out any of my bad positions. Those will be Microsoft and Starbucks. Those are the only two. Oh, and Baba. I have Microsoft, Starbucks, and Baba. Those are hurting. But I'm not getting rid of them right now because they have a little bit of time. And Baba is probably dead. But it doesn't make sense for me to sell them right now. It's already at a point where, I'm like, if it turns around, it turns around. I was not expecting us to be in such a elongated reversal here. I was thinking more of a quick correction and then the resumption. But then, because of something that I overlooked, this is what happens. Sometimes you overlook stuff. The only thing that I'm glad is that it only costed me about 2% of my portfolio. So managing your risk is important, right? My Microsoft position only takes up about 2% of my portfolio, and Starbucks maybe like it's negligible, right? Maybe like 0.3% or something like that. Very, very small amount. Okay, so my outlay for this mistake and the loss is only like 2.3% or something like that, which I'm okay with, to be honest. So if you're planning to look at, let's see here, beyond, can you do a supply and demand zone for Google? Google. Well, Google is in the demand zone right now. This is Google's demand zone. Actually, it's just broken. It broke below and came back up into it. This is the demand zone. The supply zone's up here. There's one here too. This is your supply zone up here. But yeah, Google is in a demand zone right now. This is a demand zone. So it kind of stretches down a bit more. Yeah, this is more like it. And yeah, it's a little fatter on the top as well. There you go. It looks more like it. Yeah, I mean, this is it. This is demand, this is supply here. You can see that, and if you go into the session volume, you will see further what you want to see here. So it's actually in the demand zone, and we'll see if that plays out, because it might or might not. In any case, you can't take this right now. You need a confirmation that it's breaking out. Google's bearish right now. Can you give us an update on your position? Starbucks. Starbucks is probably dead. Baba's dead. XLI I'm holding. Those are the only ones. Starbucks is going to be... let me see. Actually, Starbucks is going to be a decent one. Yeah, we still have time on Starbucks. It's probably not going to recover so quickly, but I may roll that option out. I'm going to probably roll Starbucks and XLI out. Those are the two that I will roll, because I believe in the trade idea, and so will I with Microsoft. So those are the only ones that I need to care about right now. The rest of them are all good, to be honest. Baba is going to be probably a wash, which is fine by me. It was a very small risk that I took for a very out the money play, and the fact that we didn't hit it, it was quite expected. Wasn't expecting it to take so long, but it is what it is. It was more like a lotto play, to be honest, with Baba. That's why I said super high risk, because it's a lotto play. We're not in profit for XLI, so there's no profit to take. And I have 8 contracts, which are very, very cheap contracts there. That's the reason why I took a low risk with XLI. Okay, so let's go through this real quick. So this week, and by the way, we went through the NASDAQ already. So the SPY is going to be almost the same situation here, and so is the Dow Jones. We need all 3 of them to go back up above these moving averages, okay? That's the key thing here. And you'll see what will happen will be the NASDAQ will be the first to move, and then SPY and NASDAQ, Dow Jones will follow after. Actually, you could even expect Dow Jones to have a muted response, but S&P 500 will follow the NASDAQ because it makes up 20% of it. Okay. Now, with the tickers that have been suffering this week, you can look at the 1 week performance with S&P 500 and FinViz here. We got murdered pretty heavy, right, this whole week. Things that are in major losses, red, everything is in the red, right? So actually you could close your eyes and point a finger and come up with a company that did well. Twitter did surprisingly well this week. There was a lot of flow in it last week, so it makes sense. Nike also, Costco, Target, some consumer cyclicals here, Clorox, and yeah, PayPal up a little bit, LCRX. Twitter actually the winner of the bunch. What is this? eBay up 6%. So there are a whole bunch of things that you could possibly play. Now let's have a look at our usual suspects, the ones I've been watching. Fastly looking okay, but still bearish here. We wanted to take this last week, but the trade didn't form in the end, so it didn't enter it. I took a scalp and then got stopped out on this one, so no choice. I've been scalping the whole week. I couldn't trade anyway. It's just too choppy, right? No swing trades in this market. It's impossible to do so. And then what we were looking at apart from that was Beyond, right? These are the usual suspects. Still looking great on the uptrend here. Beyond came up into our supply zone up here and now got rejected again. Watch for the next push up. I think it may make another move, a possible another move up here to this 160 zone. So 148, you had talking about 12 deltas to stack over here. Remember, this is the old resistance here. It's now turning into like a makeshift support. So let's see if it gets rejected and continues going down. It's going to come down to this zone over here, this interim demand zone, which will be right here. So this is going to be your next demand zone, right? And then what else is there? Now I cut XOM a long time ago. I updated you guys. 300 Boeings are still active and they're still in the works. They can still be played. Because remember, guys, earnings season is coming up again. Okay, things change when they start. Reporting earnings. It's going to be a different thing altogether. Okay, market might decide to rally or not rally or do whatever that it wants to do. But you got to remember that a new earnings season starts, and with new earnings seasons, there will be different outcomes. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, so it seems like CrowdStrike is a ticker that you guys want me to cover. I see a couple of people saying it. Let's see here. How many of them? 1, 2. Come on. There's so many of you guys. How come no one's voting on what ticker you want for next week? If no one votes, I'm just going to go with CrowdStrike because I think it's a good company to cover anyway. I like the company. Good future prospects. It has, I think it's like cloud-based business, right? Cybersecurity, yeah. Big business now. Okay. Okay, I answered all of these. Can you say that? Did that? AAP, okay. Thoughts on Boeing 165, 1016. Should I hang on to it? Oh. I mean, yeah, Boeing's looking terrible right now. I honestly did not expect it to break this. That was actually pretty terrible. And now that it has broken it, I think it's gonna, extend itself down all the way to this level here. High chance that we get into this zone here. This is the only next zone here. I mean, I personally, I wouldn't hold it. If you had a Boeing call right now, I wouldn't hold it. That's what I would not do. But I'm holding a longer term call for January, so I'm gonna hold mine. Let's see here. Okay, so I gave you an update for all of this. Anything you think would be a good play today? Well, there's this Twitter that may continue running, possible. If it does, there's also Costco, which I'm looking at as a potential runner. Costco on the daily looks nice, and if it breaks out of this, it's going to be a good runner to cover this gap up here. Potential gap runner. So keep your eyes on Costco here, but it's already down 7% pre-market for something. I think it must be the overall index pulling it down. I was also thinking about taking some Amazon long-term positions, but I feel like it might run further down, so I'm actually waiting as well on this one. Apple for a super cycle play. Also another possibility to play this gap up here. And then there was, what else was there? Let's see. Still holding that. CCL, Shopify, AMD, QCOM, ZS, DDOG, WDC, Tabs, Crowd, V, QCOM for next week. Saw 124 come in. QCOM. 120 flow. That makes sense. I mean, makes sense. Volume's been down though, so be careful with this one. CrowdStrike is an excellent product. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. We have enough people voting for CrowdStrike. Just saying. There's a whole bunch of people who voted for CrowdStrike so far. New ticker Shopify, Crowd, thoughts on NVAX. Novavax, it's been all over the place, right? That one. Yeah, this one's tough. It's a vaccine play, right? This one's a vaccine one. It might run, but I personally don't like. Look at this daily chart. This kind of scares me a little bit. It's too volatile. But then I see what you're saying. It could be an upside play, to be honest. One wave up, no, but then it made lower lows too. So I don't know. This one doesn't show a clear picture here. You have the wave, and then this one tops out, and then it's now making, you know, it could go downward instead of upward. That's what I see, especially since you know, volume's also looking weak. Let's see here. Crowd, Shopify, GLD might be a good buy now that it dipped. Yeah, I do actually like the prospects of buying gold and silver here. We did take a long-term silver position, which is down right now. I was considering actually averaging down into this one. On the daily, looks like a nice bounce on the this region here, but just not yet. Just not yet. Let investors get a little more irrational. I think that's what I want. I want people getting a little more irrational. Let's see, GLD might be a good one. Earnings. That's why Costco is down. Oh, okay. They had earnings? What? Really? Nah. They didn't have earnings. Oh, they did. Wow. Oh, that's crazy, man. Yesterday. Well, it wasn't that bad, it seems. Huh. Interesting. I didn't even know. Okay. Reported great earnings, but stock is down. Okay, we'll see. Do you think Microsoft is a good price to enter a January position? I'm actually very curious to see what happened to Costco earnings. When you say reported great earnings, what do you mean by that? Because that's subjective. And Oppenheimer says to buy the dip. Debate EPS and beat revenue. Okay. But that's not the only thing though, right? Operating results, net sales for the quarter, 52 billion from 46 last year. That's great. Increased 10%. Okay. Interesting. All right. E-commerce sales dipping a little bit. Okay, offset, in net income, 4 billion, diluted per share. Okay, very brief data here. There must be something. There must be something. The reason why investors are not liking this. Receivables. Yeah, we'll have to dive deep into it, if anything. So I'm guessing earnings season started again, so we should definitely be looking at some great stocks to run up here. New ticker T, part gearing. Do you think Microsoft is a good price to enter a giant position? Since price at lows of 200 seems undervalued. Absolutely, I agree. Microsoft is definitely undervalued at this price. If you wanted to get into Microsoft, this is the time to get in Microsoft. Absolutely agreed. Good play on this one. It's also sitting in the demand zone right here. So I personally like this price at Microsoft. It's $20-$30 undervalued. And you know, it can definitely run up again. Absolutely. There's 216, 220 region for sure, possibility. And when it does run, it runs quickly. So the only thing that you should be cautioned about buying Microsoft is you should buy it when the Nasdaq recovers, right? Wait for that break, as I was telling you about. If you buy it right now, you're risking a rejection and then Microsoft going down further. So buy it only on the break of the Nasdaq breaking that key level. That's what I would say. What do you think about putting long position calls on inverse ETFs? That's a bearish play for some of them. You know that, right? Twitter 10 to 45 calls. Yeah, so I was talking about Twitter earlier. This is actually one of the ones that I do like. Volume was good. The sell-off was not really that much profit taking. Twitter 10 to 45 calls. That's going to be a gamble. I would take that. You know what? I would wait till Monday to decide what you want to do with Twitter. Because today, the only thing you want to be trading is like scalps, to be honest. That's a tough one. Roku is a new ticker. That's Roku could work as well. I feel like we haven't done Roku before. Oh, have we covered Roku before? I don't know if we have. I feel like we have. Oh, we did cover Roku before. We have covered Roku before. Oh, thank you, Invictus. I appreciate the $5 donation, man. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Roku. Could it be earnings results priced in? No. Yeah, that's a possibility. That's possible, Mark. I do agree with that. Target for earnings through season, run up to ER. Yeah, that may be another good play. Nike, yes, of course. SNE, Sony, 80 calls, 1120. That also seems like a nice play for the PlayStation thingy. Yeah, I would say Sony is a pretty okay play here. Pinterest. I see a lot of people saying Pinterest as well. Interesting. Okay, it's a close fight right now between CrowdStrike and Pinterest. You guys decide. CrowdStrike or Pinterest. Okay, everybody goes and votes between CrowdStrike and Pinterest right now. And then right after that, or rather, while you're doing that, remember one thing. We have the Everyday Growth Advisors mentorship course. If you don't know about that, we're going to be really going on wave 9 starting tomorrow, so Saturday, okay, at 12 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be signing up for those. Make sure you head on over to optionswing.com to sign up at 12 p.m. Eastern time. If you want to join the mentorship course, it's a beginner course run by me. There will be a access to Discord, which is Option Swing Discord, for 2 weeks. It's a comprehensive course, and anybody who's taken the course can tell you that it is one that helps you to really summarize and navigate the stock market as well as options trading as a comprehensive thing for 5 days. 3-hour live lessons and 2 live trading sessions. Okay. Here's a testimonial from previous alumni. There are many more testimonials on the Discord that I can show you. You know, I'll just read maybe a short one from a previous batch sometime. I'll just scroll up randomly here. There's pages of these guys. There are pages of these. So let's just say that was an intermediate one. Intermediate. Let's see. Intermediate. So was hesitant purchasing cost due to prior purchases of awful classes, but Nutritarn. He made complex topics very easy to understand, super nice and straightforward. The content extremely helpful with all the content that his membership and course provides. Have tons of learning to do. Look forward to the second wave of the course. I've been hesitant in taking T's class since he launched it because at the time I couldn't justify paying for the class and I thought I already know the basics. After a few weeks of blindly following trades and blowing my account, I was ready to invest in myself. We learned so much in a short amount of time, from technical analysis to fundamental analysis, entries and exits, Greeks, chart patterns, how to select good contract, and so much more. I honestly wish I took his class sooner. T's a natural at teaching, and I appreciate all the work you put in day out. Highly recommend anyone new to stocks or trading to take this course. Hope to continue learning more from him in the future. So that's just a little two random testimonials that we went through. Remember that these are the core values of the trading class. We have building a sustainable trading system using probability and statistics, improving the odds of success through risk management and capital preservation, and fixing the psychological barriers that you guys face during trading. I really go through and destroy your ego, not leaving anyone behind. And here's the curriculum. We do an introduction to the financial markets, risk and reward in a way that you've never seen it before, behavioral mistakes that you go through, technical analysis, introduction, how to plan and execute a trade, trading strategies, all the types of trades, planning entries and exits, wave patterns, supply and demand zones. Everything will be laid on the table for you systematically. And then we do an intro to options trading, the Greeks, delta and implied volatility, choosing the right contract, and then an intro to fundamental analysis on this day. How do you value a business? How do you read earnings reports? How do you make sense of them? And then on Friday, we put everything together, and I show you how to use the option sync platform to really succeed long term. Okay. Remember, these are all recorded classes. They'll be sent to you. I'm saying they're recorded as in they're live classes, but they're recorded. So after we finish the class, which is live, the email will be sent to you daily with the recorded class, which you will have access to forever. Okay. And you can ask questions. You have 2 weeks access, and there are quizzes as well daily. Okay. So you track your progress. And so this is going to be the tuition, and Option Sync members get it for $250 with the $80 off promo code. And non-Option Sync members will get it for $330. So just want to put that out there. It's happening next week. Make sure that you sign up if you want to. Okay. All right, let's have a look now. Pinterest crowd. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh boy. 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, crowd strike wins in that case, right? Learn so much from T. Take this. This man is the GOAT. Take his courses if you are at all questioning your trades. Thank you for that lovely little blurb there, Chase. I appreciate you very much. Thank you. Okay, I guess we are covering CrowdStrike next week. Good job, team, for deciding. I'm going to just put in my notes here. CRWD, new ticker. Okay, now next week. We have 2 webinars, and what I want to do here is kind of get your opinion on what you want to see for the webinars. Okay, now on Tuesday, I was thinking, since this week's going to be a webinar concentrated on fundamentals, I wanted to get your opinion and see if you'd be interested in learning about behavioral finance, which is a topic of choice that I am super interested about. I was thinking of going through a short webinar on Tuesday about the animated systems of the mind, inspired by Daniel Kahneman, who is a Nobel Prize winner. He goes through these 2 concepts, or a bunch of different concepts about how your brain overlooks cognitive bias when you are looking at certain situations, and this also prevails in the stock market. So for those that don't know, and I wanted to break down his concept for you guys so that you can kind of understand what he's actually talking about. There are 2 systems that your mind employs. One is called System 1, the other is called System 2, and this is what Daniel kind of he breaks down in his book. If you've read it, the book is actually called Thinking Fast, Thinking Slow. You should definitely read this book. Excellent book. If you can, read it. Amazing book. Okay, Thinking Fast, Thinking Slow by Daniel Kahneman. Nobel Prize winner in economics. He specializes in really understanding how your mind works and really messes you up sometimes. I would highly recommend you to read this book, but I was thinking of covering these topics if you would be interested in it. Let me know what you think. That would be on Tuesday, me covering the 2 systems that animate your mind. And then on Thursday, I was thinking of covering another, maybe a couple more other concepts that further break down behavioral finance. Things like prospect theory, things like, general effects where, why we fear, why we value, why losses hurt more than gains, and things like that. So let me know what you guys think. Would you like to see webinars on those kinds of things next week, concentrating on behavioral finance, like the psychology of trading? Let me know. All right. In the meantime, CrowdStrike will be the ticker for next week. I like that business too. So, plus I have a friend that works there, so I'm gonna call him and hit him up and see what he has to say about it too. Okay, anything that helps us gain a better, broader understanding about the market. Excellent, sounds good. Sounds very interesting. Sounds good for Tuesday. Mind animation, awesome. Sounds good for both. Okay, great. Okay then. I guess that's what I'll keep the webinars as. We'll do one of them as the systems of trading or the systems of the mind. And then the other is going to be, cognitive biases. Cool. I guess that will be the webinars for next week. So, systems of the mind and overlooked cognitive biases. Awesome. Okay, well, if you guys have some tickers for me to break down, shoot them away. I'll cover them. Let me see if I missed anybody. I don't think I did, but let's see if I did here. Make sure that I didn't. SPY 322 put 930. Yeah, possible, but I would day trade this one, right? I definitely wouldn't swing trade it. You're approaching a very key level here, This is a key level that we're bouncing on, This is also a demand zone if you think about it, right? It's an old support, old resistance zone that's now turned into a demand zone. This was your resistance last time, right? This was also resistance last time. Now it's become a support. So this zone is like a zone for, and you can see this. It stretches all the way down here perfectly. It's kind of a demand zone here. So be careful. I feel like puts are super expensive too, so be careful with that, man. Alright. Sounds good. Okay, can you cover PENN? P-E-N-N. Looks extremely bullish. I think it needs to consolidate here more before it runs up here. So be extremely careful with PENN here. To be honest, it could run, but at the same time, you have to be really careful because it's already rallied so much that the rally might be done. Also, this double top over here, kind of like this is your supply zone up here. You can see this pretty obviously here now, right? This is your supply zone. I think it's going to have a lot of resistance if it tries to break out again. Be careful. I would say there's more risk to reward on the downside than there is to the upside. This is your demand zone down here, by the way. if you're keen to understand where that is. This is where that is. So be careful there. Let's see here. Walmart, 160 calls, 1016. I do like Walmart. Oh, that's a good one. Why? You guys need to start like really. So remember, we were looking at Walmart last week, and this is the extended demand zone here. I need to keep extending this thing. You can see we are clearly remaining within this channel here. So I'm going to drag this down here now. So this is your demand zone, and you can see there's been kind of a divergence on the OBV here, right? And the stock has been going downwards. You see that? So volume has been increasing, but the stock has been going downwards in price. So there have been only sellers in this market, no buyers. But the volume has been increasing, so people have been increasingly purchasing these shares, and then there have been big buyers stepping in to sell shares, right? So I think Walmart might be, doing one of these sideways movements to eventually pop. So be careful. Betting this to the upside on a break above 141 would be a smart idea. If it runs up here, it fails. If it runs up, comes down, test this as a support, Walmart would be a good play here. I like it. 160 for 1016 though, that's pretty far though. Nah, I don't think 160 is a good strike. I think it might be too far. Square 155 calls for 10-2. Square 155 calls for 10-2. Yeah, you should be okay with that one. I think you're okay with Square. Yeah, Square might run. Square, the possibility it runs to making higher lows. Right. It's actually if you see that it's a wedge, right? See that? It's squeezing. You can see that. It's going to eventually break out. Okay. Many people ask me, like, how do you see these things, right? How do you see this? How do you see that it's in a wedge? Well, it comes after years, right? You look at this, you look at these patterns, and then you start to realize, oh, okay, this is what it's doing, right? So you can draw this here, right? Something like that. Okay. You want to use the best fit, so yeah, that looks like it. This is the zone there. What you can do is move this here, right? Now you have your wedge, and you know that this has been making waves higher, right? It's going to continue to run up here. So Square is looking good for a breakout, a possible breakout. I would say 155. That's yeah. That you could definitely play that one. That's for sure. Square 1016 170 call 170. If it pops, then yeah. But other than that, I don't know. You're buying additional 2 weeks. It's possible, man. But I don't know. This one's a bit more risky than this one, to be honest. I would take the 155 10-2 over the 1016 170. That's the better risk to reward ratio there, with the lesser time. Apple 130 for January. Yeah, you can hold your Apple 130, man. FedEx 250 calls for the end of September. Yeah, I mean, I think this one will continually run up here. It's broken out of this thing already, this downward thing. Yeah, I think you're good there. You can hold it, to be honest. This one's also forming a kind of a wedge here. You can see it. You can see it. It's forming a wedge. It's right here. Boom. Right? Also doing this. It's possible, keep on going and break out eventually. Highly possible. Volume's not really cooperating though. That's the only thing with FedEx there. LVS 50 calls for 1120. LVS 50 calls. This one not so good. See, the issue is the candlesticks are trading below the moving averages. It's bearish. Yeah, that was a nice bounce, but 50 calls. This is your dual zone here. That's your demand zone. Granted, this is your demand zone, but it's just, I don't know, man. I don't like trading this one unless it breaks up above the moving averages. That's all I'm gonna say with LVS, especially since it's, you know, coronavirus affected stock. Zoom is a potential bearish trade today. You should definitely check that out. SHLL, we have sold puts for this stock. It was actually, our sold puts are doing actually pretty good. SHLL October. By the way, guys, I just want to give you guys you know, some perspective. Okay, for the positions that I have on the positions that were a loss, right? Baba, okay. Baba was a wash, right? This was a lotto play, right? I called this out as a lotto play. Okay, Starbucks, which was a great play but wrong timing. This is possibly going to be a wash, and Microsoft. Okay, you have to remember that all these losses, they were covered by the hedges that I bought on QQQ. Okay, so if you took these trades and you didn't, like, if you risked a whole bunch of money on this but you didn't manage your risk, I really hope that it didn't cause your portfolio to completely get drained, because you shouldn't be taking anything with no covered risk. Remember, how much did I make in profits from the QQQ puts that I bought? I made about $6,000. Okay, out of there, these Microsoft positions only costed me about $2,000. The Starbucks positions only cost me about $300, and the Baba positions only costed me about $300 too. Okay. The total amount of money that I spent on these positions was half of what I made from the hedges. So I'm still up $3K from the hedges. I only used 50% of the wins from my hedges to bet on these lotto plays. Okay? And then I still have long-term positions that I covered that I had spent additional 3K from. All right? So remember how you're managing your risk, okay? I just want to put that out there. That if you're thinking that the losses are losses, you have to know where your money came from. Okay, make sure you have that in your head. All right. Okay, so SHLL. Oh wow, whatever happened to this one? Crazy. I believe that we sold some puts on this one. Let me see how they're doing actually. Let's see. Huh. Not too bad. Not a bad time to sell puts on this again. I might just roll my option up. Yeah, the market's definitely not cooperating here, so let's see what you guys are looking at. What was your position on QQQ? No, those were puts from when I bought when the first drop happened. I had puts on QQQ like right up here, and then we played it all the way down into here. This is when I bought majority of my positions. All of those positions of Microsoft and the yada yada and the da was bought here. And since then we have been doing this little thing. So this little time frame here is what is eating us, right? But then we're waiting on the reversal to bring us back. So I'm not saying that it will happen, but we got to be smart with the risk that you take on, okay? All right, well, thank you guys for attending the live stream today. So we have the webinars down and we have the ticker of the week for next week. I want to say have a good trading day. Make sure you do not swing anything over this weekend, please. It's not a great idea, in my opinion. try to stay within your risk tolerance. Remember that, you know, if you're risking something, don't go more than like 3%, 5%, guys. Okay? That should be the max risk that you take on. 3 to 5% per position on your portfolio. All right? Apart from that, I say good luck. Have a good weekend. Remember sign-ups for the mentorship course if you're interested, and sign up at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Go to optionswing.com, click join now, and scroll down. Consider being a member of our community, or just sign up for the beginner course, which will be here. It's going to say sold out until 12 p.m. Eastern Time. When you click here, it will say enroll now at 12 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, and that's when you will be able to enroll. For right now, it's going to keep saying sold out because we want to give everybody an equal chance to get in. Okay, great. This is a 1 hour time frame. All right then. If you can, right before you leave, smash the like button, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. Okay, peace out, guys. See you on Monday for a new live stream or for the Everyday Growth Advisors Beginners Mentorship course. Bye bye.